Writing assignment number 5.
What is that one about?
Yeah. Just explain to us.
Oh, what is it about? I don't remember the title.
Let me check. I got it up here somewhere.
See, there were 20 writing assignments last term.
Oh, Lord.
You've only got 10. But I took some of them and combined them, and I don't remember exactly what I may have put together.
I think it's the theory.
It's McGregor's theory.
Okay, Theory X, Theory Y. I would,
So you've been explaining that.
yeah, I think you can march through that one pretty good. I think there's another one coming up on social capital and human capital.
And that was
That was 4?
That's the best. Yeah.
What is social capital?
social capital is kind of the relationships you build with other people.
Or corporations. Your networking.
I want you to say something.
That comes from
The value that accrues or is imbued as a result of the interpersonal relationships in an organization. That's your social capital.
You get loyalty.
You get loyalty. What else do you get? You get candor. That is, people will come to you with problems and talk with you about them instead of hiding them. What else happens when you have good, strong social capital?
When you need a new employee, the other employees will know people.
Yes.
And they'll also, because of the good, high social loyalty, they won't get the bum friend they have. They'll get that smart, intelligent friend who's got all these degrees and go, this guy could work here.
And who has the personality to fit in with the social milieu, within the culture, within the corporate culture. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, go ahead.
Because of the collaboration, you'll end up with innovation specific to your company.
What does the term synergy mean?
Working together.
the sum is greater than the parts.
The sum is greater, the whole is greater than the sum of the parts.
Yeah.
It's 2 plus 2 equals 19. It's where, by virtue of our interactions with one another working on a project, we come up with 19 great ideas, whereas if we'd have worked separately, we would have come up with 2 each. That's one of the benefits of social capital. Okay? What was the other? Human capital.
Human capital.
What is human capital, and how is it different?
Value of each individually.
Exactly. As opposed to as a community, it's the individual person.
Good. And what do we know about, what does the term capital mean in this regard, human capital?
An asset.
It's an asset, like a piece of equipment in a sense. And what do we know happens to a piece of equipment?
Needs maintenance.
It needs maintenance and it depreciates. Do you depreciate as a piece of human capital?
Yes.
Absolutely. How?
From the lack of investment.
Give me an example.
Education.
Yeah, if the software or hardware that you use in your particular job is changing and you don't stay up to date, you become obsolete, right? How long does it take for you to, for the value of your knowledge about a software system, what's the life of that? If you learn a new software system, how long will that be good until some other software system replaces it?
5 years.
5 years?
No, it's now like 1 year.
Yeah, it's 18
1
months.
year.
18 months?
Yeah, it's like 18 months.
Well, there may be new stuff out there for 18 months, but knowing your boss and your company, they'll be 5 years adopting it, right?
I mean,
But-
you're on a 3-year lease.
Okay, think of it this way. If I have an employee who's making $30,000 a year, and the value of their knowledge is good for 5 years before it is worthless, that's a 5-year life on a piece of equipment. That means that their value is depreciating on the average $6,000 a year. At $6,000 a year in 5 years, they will have zero value unless we maintain and improve and upgrade it. And so the question then becomes, are you investing $6,000 in that employee every year to improve their skills, etc.? And this may be an exaggeration. Take half of that, okay? Just say that their skill values are $15,000, so I need to invest $3,000 a year. How many companies do you suppose are doing that? And worse than that, if you know this is true about you, are you doing it for yourself? What are you doing to invest in yourself to constantly avoid that depreciation? What can you be doing?
We're here.
You're here. Excellent. Good point.
Would you say that number is 0 here in Gainesville? Like to the fact of retraining your employees?
That zero money is spent?
No, yeah, on retraining. Because
No.
so many people are trickling out of the colleges.
I don't think so. I don't think so.
It's economy driven. I mean, if budgets are.
If budgets are limited, we don't reinvest in our people any more than we fix up, we're still running,
My
I don't know, Windows
I think that's a big
They
mistake,
did,
though.
oh, that
Sure
doesn't
it is.
matter.
I mean,
Windows
it's a
8
big
sucks.
mistake. And a lot of companies do put in money to train their employees and stuff. I mean, they do stuff by reimbursing you on tuition to go to school. They give you the option to go and do a lot of things and will reimburse you, but a lot of employees do not take advantage of that.
I think that's very true. I think the other thing is for you or I individually, do we belong to a professional association? Do we read professional publications related to our field? Do we constantly stay updated as much as we can on our own? For example, here at Santa Fe, my boss, our department, buys me my subscription to The Economist magazine. If they didn't, I'd buy it myself. But I think that's a necessary investment in remaining current on what's going on. But we got to ask every person, and I would be asking you if you worked for me. Show me your own personal improvement plan. What are you doing to either improve or at least stay current in your skills and abilities and knowledge? And that's something I didn't address that in the strategic planning mode, but it's certainly going to be critical down the road. And the other one, I think I may have mentioned this before, the verb resume to resume. You remember what that means? A resumeable activity.
Something that you can write down.
Something you put on your resume. What if I told you, since you're working for me now, that every 6 months I want you to come into me for an evaluation, and when you come in, I want you to bring your updated resume. What better be different in your resume every 6 months?
Your skills.
Education.
You're doing more, you're learning more, you're worth more, you're continuing to improve yourself. Would that make a difference in how you spend your time and what activities you involve yourself in over the next 6 months?
Well, that would make a hell of a difference.
You damn right.
That would, yeah, that would, the weekends that you generally would just sit at home doing whatever, you could instead go to a conference.
Or when the boss said, I got a project on here, who's got time to work on it? Me, because this will be on my resume. I would urge you to think in those terms. As you're going through this program, along with everything else you got going on in your life, what things are you doing right now that you can keep a record of and recount on a resume or in a job interview? These are the things I've done. I created a personal strategic plan using a SWOT analysis. How many people do you think will be able to say that in a job interview? The answer is usually about 3%. So you're already ahead of the crowd, even if you did screw it up. Okay? The more I do this, the more it seems to me, from my experiences and from the people I talk to, that there's not a lot of competition out there. We read about how bad the economy is and how hard it is for college graduates to get jobs. My sense, subjectively, is that a lot of those people aren't getting jobs because they're not doing anything about it. They're sending out blind resumes to 3,000 companies that never heard of them and don't care about them. That's not a way to find a job.
Or go to a temp agency and then wait and let them do it all for them.
Yeah. What do you got to do instead? You ever heard of Amway?
Yeah,
It's a direct sale outfit. The first thing Amway does when you go to work for them, they say, write down every person you know. You get this whole list of names, and then they want you to start selling to those people. I would tell you, if you want to go get a job, write down the list of every person you know and what you know about them, and identify 10 of them that you think might be helpful in either advising you or referring you and opening a door. 10 of them. And then I want you to practice with me what you're going to say to those 10 people, one at a time, about what you're doing and how you're going to approach them to ask them to help you, to mentor you, to advise you, or to refer you around. And I think if you did that with 10 people you know, and then you did it with another 10, my guess is by the time we did 30 people that way, you'd have a job. But if instead you're going to sit at home on your computer and print out resumes and mail them out, well, my kids didn't do it, I'll guarantee you.
You have those resources.
What resources?
You have friends, that some of them have jobs.
Why don't people do that?
Just recently, at the beginning of the semester, I got a job for my roommate because I have a friend, Colin. He's the guy I call in Orlando to ask business questions. And he was working with a woman named Mary at a call center, which covers a massive majority of Gainesville. And they needed more employees. I talked to Colin. I told him that my roommate's looking for a job. I talked to my roommate. I gave him Colin's number. He spoke to Colin. Colin spoke to Mary. Colin got him a job.
There you go. And how long did that take?
A week, if that.
There you go. So, all I'm telling you is, all this talk about how hard it is to find a job is only true if you want it to be. You know better. Right?
Just talk to people.
That's right.
And print one resume. Don't print 500 resumes. Save on the paper and the ink.
But it's got to be a nice first-class resume. Also, by the way, while we're mentioning it, to me there are two types of resumes. You hear a lot of people who say a resume should only be one page. I'm going to tell you, in my opinion, that if you can put everything great about you on one page, you ain't done enough yet. Okay, that's a damn lie. If your resume had at least 2 pages of all the many things you have done to include walking on water.
And have a nice picture of yourself.
I personally, I think a picture's a good thing. Other people don't like it, okay? And certainly companies cannot require you to attach a picture to your resume because they'll be accused of discrimination.
Oh, but it puts a face to the name.
I agree. But a really first-class resume to me is 2 or 3 pages long. The cover letter over it, that's tailored to each employer that says, here's what I can do for your company. Here's what I know about your company and what I'd like to do.
And here's my skill
That's
base.
good. And then what?
The cover page, here's what I can do for your company. And then the next few pages, and here's my skill base.
Sure, there's your resume. And at the final one, when you turn in a resume to me, you've got references on it. You don't say references available upon request. You check with your references first, let them know. If they say, fine, put my name on it, they'll be expecting the call. And that way, if I look at your resume and I think you're triple sharp, I don't have to call you again for your damn references. I just look at the numbers and I start calling people. And that's what you want me to do. So I'm kind of biased about the way you use resumes. And you don't print them up 3,000 or 500 at a time. Waste of paper. Print up 5 of them, put them in the hands of the right people, or 10. All right, anything else? Peace.